What's going on, people? It's Mr. Door back again with the previous show. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, before we do start, I did a vlog for Manchester United, but something's wrong with my SIM card, so the vlog won't be out. So I do apologise for that. But we must get ahead to the big game. Old rivals back again. As you know, Forest fans, you know the hatred I got for Liverpool. As you know, I've got so many Liverpool friends. So people in the chat, are you ready for the big game? I'm a bit scared because the way Liverpool are going on these days against, you mention the kids. You mention these kids these days because they're just smashing it, aren't they? They haven't got Salah or Co, so they've got the kids. But I've got a special guest in my channel that will talk about Liverpool's season so far. We've got the man himself, Errol. How you doing, Errol?
All good, bro. All good. How are you? How's everybody in the chat tonight? All good.
I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
I wanted you to do me a favor last night. That's what I was kind of hoping for. But I was thinking, yeah, maybe Forest will do us a favor, take away the trash, get them out the way nice and early, and then we'll have a decent game in the FA Cup as well.
We could have played you again, but it wasn't. So it seems like Liverpool have got to beat Man U. I think they will do. So, but yeah, I've got the man called Errol. He's part of the Red Man TV. So, Errol, if you do, let's talk about Red Man TV before we do talk about Saturday's game.
Yeah, Redmen. If you don't know in the football fan space, fan channel space, I should say, Redmen TV is probably the OG. They are probably one of the longest standing fan channels that are out there on YouTube. They make amazing content, documentaries, interviews, players past, present. They're a great bunch of lads and girls. They get down to most games, whether it's home or away. We've got fans representing home games, away games. We've got coverage. We do live watch-alongs. I'm one of the hosts of most of the home game watch-alongs. So you'll see me in the studio pulling my braids out from time to time when things aren't going to plan. But we've got quite a lot. I know we've got good home form this season. I can't really remember.
Don't talk about the 3-0. Don't talk about the 3-0 that you beat us. Just don't talk about that, please.
So we've got good home form this season. It's been a very good season for us. Obviously, all things Liverpool at the moment are pointing to the fact that Jurgen Klopp is on his farewell tour. So everything is kind of heightened in terms of pressure, expectations, fans' emotions are all over the place a little bit. So there's plenty of stuff going on there, but the Red Men are always got something going on in the mix. We're always filming stuff. As I said, they're a good bunch of lads. And when it comes to, fan channel content, they are, best in the business as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'll always back the lads on that one.
100%. So like I said, I do. Everyone knows. I'm not going to lie. Everyone knows the way I don't like Liverpool. But please do it. I'd like to promote other YouTube channels. If you can do a massive favor for me, go on, click on the Red Man TV. It's in the title, so go on, please subscribe and see what their channel's like. Right, Errol, let's talk about we are going to dig out about the game at Anfield when you beat 3-0, and we were shocking. Let's say when I went to the game. Can you remember any of that game?
To be honest, probably not. I've probably slept since then. I've probably slept since then.
We were awful. We were shocking. That's all I'm gonna say. We were absolutely shocking, and it was like a training game for Liverpool. But if you do want to see the vlog, people, it's in the description. Go and watch it because it was Liverpool just training day for him, but there was nothing to So let's talk about Liverpool. Like I said, the one that Carabao Cup last week with the kids. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted Liverpool to lose, but give credit to them. They wanted they won easy. What's your thoughts on that game?
The Carabao Cup was an interesting one for me because I genuinely felt I genuinely felt from the start we didn't have any right to win. Obviously, the Carabao Cup for us has been the type of game where the type of competition where we would field, a much change side. You'd have a lot of the youngsters kind of get embedded in with some experienced players and some of the older ones that are probably on the fringes of the 11. And you kind of gel together aside in that respect. However, from what I could kind of gauge over the last couple of weeks, we've had injuries. We've had some big injuries to big key players. I don't think Alisson was ever going to feature in the final. I think it was always nailed on for Kelleher to get a start. But there was just a few things where you're looking at it and thinking, we're a little bit threadbare. If Chelsea, especially because we paced the Chelsea at the start of the month, absolutely bobbed them off the park. We absolutely tore them a new one, which was good to see. But then at the same time, I knew it was not going to be a repeat performance. I knew that the game, especially with it being a final, was going to be a lot cagier. So when we got to Wembley, I went down, and it was nervous because I just didn't think we had enough firepower. I felt we were overly reliant on the likes of Luis Diaz or Gakpo popping up and performing really well for us. But what proceeded to happen that afternoon was nothing short of an absolute incredible achievement for those young lads, because, you know, a lot of people can say, oh, Chelsea had a younger average age, which, yeah, they did. But if you look at the numbers on their shirts, they're in and around the first team squad. Those young men, football has moved down that generation now. The next it boys and the next star boys, they're all of that very young age. They get paid very high wages, and there's a lot of expectation on their shoulders. I'm not short in saying that Chelsea's young lads have not delivered on that. They've not delivered on that promise. Whereas we've brought through a crop of players now that have all been academy graduates to an extent, in and amongst it. So yeah, they are young and young thereabouts, but the average age for us was only pushed through the roof because we had the likes of Virgil van Dijk and Canate and Joe Gomez on the pitch. So when you actually deep it, you know, the lads that we actually was able to put out there and come on at the end in terms of our substitutions, that really helped. I wouldn't say we naturally think they would improve us, but they came on and added quality all over the pitch for us. You know, Bradley was there with quality, Quantas with quality, you know, Clark had a lot of quality, and then you bring on someone like Dan's. I don't know if you've seen much of his highlights.
I saw Dan's, I saw Kumas. Kumas, I think.
Kumas, Jason. So like, absolutely in technical players as well.
I hate Jason Kumas. He always used to score past Forest, and now if this guy Kumas scores past Forest, I'm going to go mad.
But
if I'll be fuming, because he always. I think every time I play against Forest, I think we play for West Brom. I know a lot. He scored past Forest, and if this Kumas scores past Forest, I'm going to go mad.
But you've just got to give them the flowers, because they are 100%. Kids. They're all living their best life. They're all dreaming of the day that they put on the shirt, play it at a final, or not even some. Well, obviously, they all are dreaming, aspire to play at a final, but more realistically, just get a debut for Liverpool, get a start, get some appearances under the belt. And not only have they managed to do that, they've done it on one of the biggest stages in English, you know, in English football, Carabao Cup. Whether big teams mock it or not, it is still one of the big three competitions that are up for grabs at the start of every season. And if you're a serious team, you put yourself in that hat to say, yeah, let's give it a run, you know, and see how far we can get. So the lads done the business. And then last night, again, against the Southampton side, that for all intents and purposes are really trying to make the way back into the Premier League. They've got their eye fixated on getting automatic promotion into the Premier League. They fancy themselves. They fancy their ability on the ball. They fancy the quality that they've got within that squad. So for the young lads to go again in only a handful of days post, you know, a big final like that, probably still living off adrenaline and you know, prime energy drinks, because they're too young to have a proper bevy. It's incredible. So, you know, there's plenty of reasons as Liverpool fans, even though we would all love to have our strongest side between now and the end of the season, when it comes to like being able to turn around and have that assurance that, you know what, if we have to roll the dice and we need a last minute winner and, you know, we're ending to injury time, or the VAR puts up, you've got 15 minutes added injury time at the end of the 90, you can look and say, all right, go on, dance, get on the pitch, run around for a little bit, see what you can do. If you need to shore something up and, you know, like something, God forbid anything happens to your defenders, Quant has been excellent since he came in for us this season.
I like him as well.
I like him to, you know, you might have recognised it in your team, and, you know, plenty of other teams that are up there fighting for European football. They will be lucky if they get one or two starlets from the academy or a young gem that they've bought. That comes good within this course of a season. The fact that we have probably unearthed 4 or 5, especially in the last 12 months. We're forgetting we've not seen Basetic kick a ball all season. He was a revelation for us last year.
Did he play last season?
He played last season. Yeah, last season, you know, our midfield was very, very threadbare, and it wasn't at the level that we needed it. But he looked like, you know, he was going to come good. He's been out with injuries, growing pains, muscle pains, all the rest of it this season. But he's going to come back in as a fan favourite. You know, you've got your Clarks now, you've got your Elliots, you've got your Quantas, your Connor Bradleys, and now you've got your Dans. There's like 4 or 5 players in the space of a season.
Even the goalkeeper.
Kelleher's been about, and he's 25.
Forest were after him. I don't know if you know. Forest won.
Yeah, in the January transfer window. But I'm glad we said no, because he's proven his weight in gold, and I couldn't have lived with Adrian being in goal for finals or any games, to be honest. But it just goes to show the fact that we're in a position to have, unearthed 5 potentially, and they've all burst onto the scene, and people will remember their names. I think that's really impressive, and a lot of credit's got to go to the academy staff and the backroom staff that have been monitoring them and their progress really closely.
100%. The question is, like I said, I spoke to quite a Liverpool fan, and then this is a question for you. So Liverpool bringing the big guns back this weekend. I want to put that in that because you mentioned the young guns, like I said, Comas, Dans, Bradley's. I know Bradley will start because he's been fantastic. Do you, as a Liverpool fan, because the atmosphere at the City Ground, as you know, we beat you 1-0. Do you think, they won the Carabao Cup? Do you think the atmosphere at the City Ground, do you think they're ready for it? Or do you think it's time to bring the big guns in? Because I know I've seen the start, you've got like, how many games you got? So many games in 22 days?
Yeah, it's only just come out today. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but I know we've got 2 Europa League games.
Yeah.
We've got another FA Cup game.
Man U twice.
We've got Man U twice, and we've got City.
That's the thing. Do you think stick with the young guns, or do you think players like Salah and Nunes should come in? But the young guns have been playing well. You've got to give the flowers, like you said.
Yeah, I think the youngsters have played particularly well, and where like the Kwanzas and the Bradleys, the ones that I've got a bit more of a sample size for me to say, yeah, I've seen enough of them. They can still stay in and around the first team squad and the fringes. I think that's really important for us. I also think it is time to really start going up the gear in the Premier League now, and we've got to take our focus back towards the Prem. We've had the Carabao Cup, we've had the FA Cup. It's been a week since we've played a Premier League game, because that was Luton last Wednesday. So it's already going to have been nearly 10 days before we'll have played the Premier League game. So we can't take our eye off the biggest prize. It's the one that all the fans want from that perspective. So
I know everyone's gonna be like, I don't want it. No, listen to me. I keep doing this, but I'm not. No. Everyone knows I don't want Liverpool to win it, and that's
fair. You're an opposition fan, bro. That's your prerogative. Do you get me? But from my perspective,
if Liverpool win it, like I said, I've got so many Liverpool fans. Bros, everyone knows my brother was a Liverpool fan. I'll get it left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
because like I said, I'll try to mix it in with it. Like I said, it's Klopp last season, and we all know it's a fairy tale. If Klopp wins all 4 cups, it's gonna be one of the best things ever. Blah blah blah. But I just don't want Liverpool to win anything, Errol. I've got to keep it real. I do. Because when I carried the cup, I thought to myself, I looked at the team, Chelsea's going to win this. But when I watched it, I thought, these young ones are playing. Wow.
We just don't know when we're beat. We don't know when we're beat.
Exactly. That's the problem. And how do you think I feel? I'm seeing all this. I'm getting texts left, right, center. Liverpool, bro, like, shut up, man. Yes, I'm seeing it. You're all right. It's fine.
For a long time, though, I just thought that was the world-class players with that mentality. But the fact that it's trickled its way down to some of the youngsters as well, it is incredible. But in terms of bringing the big guns back, I think it's time that we do reassimilate them back into the first team squad, in the sense that we need firepower. I've boasted all season that we've got the best front line of, out of that 5, pick 3, and they're going to be the best on most days. We're light. Salah's been out, Nunes has been out, Jota's out now. So there's 3.
Well, I'm happy you said that. Jota scored past Forest every single time. Besides last season, always scored past Forest.
Always, but they're the prolific ones. Then you've got the Diaz's and the Gakpos that are less prolific, but still of a decent level of quality. So from that perspective, they need a bit of a rest as well, because they've had to carry the torch, especially because Salah had been out for AFCON. So we've lost him for longer. We only really seen him re-emerge for 1 game, and it was a game that had already been won by the time he comes on the pitch. So when you actually deep it, we've already been without Salah by the time it comes round. It'll have been 3 months nearly, from January to March, before we've really seen Salah come back into the fold. So it's important that we do get him back on the pitch and get minutes back in his legs. And it's also important, where we need midfield reinforcements. If we only have one start, like obviously we've got Diaz, as I say, the quality's a little bit less in Diaz and Gakpo. But if you just got one of your talisman in Salah The other two can go back to doing what they do for us, work hard for the team, be an out ball, give us a little bit of extra width and an extra dimension. Salah can be the one that you can always target, say if you need a goal, he's always good for it. But midfield is where we're crying out. I mean, we are absolutely crying out at the minute for some midfield.
I thought you got a great midfield. If I'm honest.
We have, but they're injured. So Endo came off in the final the other day with a knee brace. Gravenberch got his ankle done on the 30th minute. Yeah. Jones has got his ankle done. So Bosley is the one that's probably going to come back at some point. We just don't know when. Trent's been pushed into midfield, but he's out. So Bradley's covering it right back, which means there's no... And it's only McAllister and Elliott at the minute that are like the fit senior midfielders. So all of a sudden, an area that was so strong for us, not necessarily on paper, but in terms of how they perform this season, it's been one of our strongest assets is our midfield and how we've managed the games. All of a sudden now, when you've not got the bodies to do it, you're looking around thinking, that's where I do think he will still go and turn to some of the youngsters that have shown good form and good performances in recent weeks. He will probably extend another run of games for them just to see us back getting bodies in that midfield engine room, mate.
I'm going to talk about it. Like I said, I love him as a manager. I love Klopp when he was at Dortmund. And when he came to Liverpool, I was like, oh, God, he's going to win cups. He's going to win trophies. And then he's done it. Now he's leaving it in the season. He's achieved so much. The question I want to ask, when he leaves, who do you want? Because we see Alonso has been linked with Yar, but he's done one season with Leverkusen. I know he's a legend at Liverpool, but what's your thoughts on Klopp leaving and who do you think will replace?
Obviously devastated. I didn't see Klopp leaving this season. I always was of the impression that it would have been Pep to throw in. I say throw in the towel is probably the wrong way because these are heavyweights. It's not about throwing in the towel for them, but down in tools and wanting another project or wanting a break from the sport or whatever it might have been. And it did take us all by surprise. So my initial reaction was I was gutted, but it made me realize because all season I had been on the banging the drum. We look like we're nearly ready, but this season might be just a season too soon for what Jurgen Klopp and what he would want to do. But if we're within touching distance, maybe some of the older heads see things differently as competitive athletes. They might think, you know what? Even if we've not got the full components, let's push it as far as we can. We've done it before. Use a new lad. Use want to experience it. Use want to feel it. Listen to us. Take on our guidance. Do the preparation that we want. Give everything and leave nothing on the pitch. And we might have a chance. And then all of a sudden, Klopp news comes, and my mind straight away was like, well, even if we didn't want to give us this season, and if he was given this season as a free pass, we can't now. This could be that season for us. It's almost the last chance. It's our version of the last dance. So a lot of my energy has gone into obviously just remaining positive, even in the face of the amount of injuries we've picked up. I still believe that we just don't know when we're beat. And I fancy us to beat most teams. Home, definitely. Away, a little bit more difficult. That's why you do need to bring some of your big hitters back to just kind of give you that clinical edge. And in terms of who I would want to come in next, I'm honest, I haven't really got a man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, the thing for me is, last year everything was Jude Bellingham this, Jude Bellingham that, Caicedo this, Enzo that, and I'm like, all right, calm. Who did we end up with? FSG, the recruitment, Klopp, end up drawing for Endo, and Endo comes in and does a job. Yeah. So, we might get whipped up in the PR and the fanfare of Alonso because of the name, the history, the ties, and I get it. I respect it, but it was the same situation for Jude Bellingham. Oh, Jude Bellingham's dad's a Liverpool fan, and this one, and he grew up watching, wants to be Gerrard, and all these things are like tick, 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 until it's not a tick. So I don't like to get too caught up. I almost feel like when there's all of this going on over here, it's because there's something that's going to happen over here that they don't want you to be privy to just yet. And I feel like FSG have done that on a number of different occasions. So they'll lead us down one path for so long, only to do a U-turn and spin the block and go elsewhere. And as long as they do their due diligence, I've heard more rumblings that Michael Edwards is being offered, the keys to the castle, so to speak, in order to really restructure the club, get a new director of football, basically be like the CEO, run the whole operations. That excites me because I think he would then definitely look to make sure that we get the right person in, given his track record and his history. So there are a few factors that need to go into it, and there are a few moving parts that need to be put in place. I can't just get hyped over a name. And
do you want a young manager or experienced manager, Errol?
See, in the last 10 years, I've done both. Do you get me? Like Brendan, before the young managers were trendy, we copped for Brendan Rodgers, and it almost worked. Don't get it twisted; it almost worked.
And I was happy. I was happy, Errol. I'm not gonna lie.
I can imagine, but yeah, like it almost worked. And then we get the experienced manager in Klopp, and you see the difference in what it brings to you. But then it's like we could have a really experienced manager, but we could go and get Jose Mourinho, for example. Been there, done it, won it all. His philosophy and his football mantra does not align with Liverpool as a football institution. So even though he's of the caliber of a manager that you'd expect to be able to manage a club the size of Liverpool, it wouldn't be a match made in heaven. So that's where I struggle. It's almost like a fucking Goldilocks. Sorry to swear. It's almost like the Goldilocks. It's almost like the Goldilocks situation. We've got to get the one that's right in the middle, which I think makes it even harder because Jurgen Klopp in itself is a hard act to follow. Come back to me at the end of the season once we see what Leverkusen go on to do. If they do end up going invincible, win the Bundesliga and all the rest of it, maybe give him a chance, because I think Alonso, in terms of his character and his philosophy, would work really well. It's just, again, then the experience. Don't forget, Liverpool, if everything stays on track, are going to be in the Champions League next year. I don't think he's got a wealth of Champions League experience, so that might also have to be taken into consideration.
100%. People get any questions want to ask Errol, please do. The big question, Errol, like I said, a big man Liverpool fans. Do you think you can get the quadruple? I'm praying you don't. No.
Do you know what's funny? Yeah, I remember the first stream I did with Potts in the summer.
Dan Potts, he made this happen.
Yeah, man, big shout out to Dan Potts. He's a good lad. Big Arsenal fan. Go check out the 12-man podcast.
It's on now. Dave's on there. My guy Dave's on there. So if you want to watch it, go and watch it afterwards.
Go on, yeah. Make sure you tune in. But no, I remember one of the first streams I did with him just before the season kicked off, and I said it so tongue in cheek. It's unbelievable. But I said, look. We the way that Liverpool do what Liverpool do, City went on to win the treble last year and got the treble. You can't knock it. Great achievement. Give them the flowers. Yeah. I said, we'll go out of our way now and we'll win the shit quad. I said, we'll win the shit quad. And he said, what do you mean the shit quad? I said, because we're not in the Champions League, but we'll win everything else. We'll win the Prem, we'll win the FA Cup, we'll win the Carabao, and we'll win the Europa. And no one will care because it'll be called the shit quad. And I said,
that's so good. So, you know what? To you Liverpool fans out there, Errol said it. It's just shit quad.
That's what but this was before the whole Klopp situation. This was before we was even in a title race. So now the fact that we're in the mix of the quad, the whole quad fever, best believe it will be the best quadruple ever. If we go on to win it, it will be the best.
You gave me some more arrow to my friend Liverpool fans. That's quality. People in the chat, get his score pictures if you can now, please. So I'm going to get Errol to get his score pictures right now.
Let me ask you a few things about your team, though, if you don't mind, because we're coming to your den this time round. And obviously, what have you made of man like Divock Origi? Because he's cult, like he's a cult hero from a Liverpool fan.
He's a legend in a few lot.
Since he's joined you, what have you thought?
The last two games, he's done all right. He's done all right, but since he's signed, he's not done nothing. That's keeping real. He hasn't done nothing at all. Since Nuno come in, I think we played against Bournemouth. He plays a right winger because at Liverpool he played more as a left winger, didn't it?
Yeah, either left or through the middle.
Yeah, through the middle, but we played him as a right winger, and he's done a little bit since Nuno's come in. But like yesterday against Man U, he did all right, but he hasn't done much. He nearly went back to AC Milan in January because, like I said, he couldn't get a game under Steve Cooper. Reason why, but since Nuno's come in, he's been all right. To be fair, but
and what do you think? No, go sorry.
Sorry, again.
I said, what do you think of your chances of staying up this season? Because I've just been looking.
Forest fans, come on, I don't know. Like
Are you confident? How are you feeling about it all?
You know, it is. As you know, people know in chat know about the points deduction. That's the thing we're worried about.
It's hanging over your head. It's looming,
yeah,
isn't it?
over my head. Because as you know,
I broke that to Dave. You know, Dave didn't even know, and I remember saying, "Yo, what's all this about, Dave?" I was like, "Is this what you need to tell us?" And then he found out. He was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Yeah,
that's the thing. What we're more worried about, because as you know, the rival team Everton, they got their points back.
Yeah.
I think it was they got 4 points back from there. So it's good. You can see it as good news. If we get, listen, I'll take it. I don't care what the points, because we've done what we did, and it's just, if it's 6 points. It is what it is. But now we've got to focus.
A lot of players last year, didn't you? You went and bought a whole new team.
We had no choice, though. We had no choice. We bought Nico Williams.
Yeah, he's a good player, though, and he always plays well when he plays
well. But he can't play. Recently, like, and I don't know. When I came to Anfield last season, I spoke to Nico Williams' dad, and and the question for you, this question for you, Errol. I don't know if you know. He said to me, Liverpool, they don't train proper right backs, do they? It's wing backs.
Yeah, wing back. Yeah, that's all I can
because that's where I'm confused with it.
But that's why you're looking at Bradley, and it's almost like you can see where Trent's come from, because they have that similar sort of ethos and style. Like, don't forget, we've turned the likes of the Bradleys and the Trents from midfielders into Premier League right backs and full backs. So we do a lot of that as well. We tinker with it a lot when it comes to that age where it's like, right, they're probably not developed enough to get into a midfield, but where else on the pitch could we use their skill sets? And fullback seems to be a very safe option, which allows them to express themselves. But then it also has to then start teaching them the defensive side of the game as well.
So I hope Divock scores. I hope he does. He's going to get a lot of applause from Liverpool fans, as you know, because like I said, he got the Champions League winner. Was it 2-0 against Spurs? So he scored 1 goal for us. That was against, I think it was against Bristol City in FA Cup. So he needs to score goals for us. But listen, he needs to.
He's the type of player, though, if you get him in a little bit of form, he could easily start scoring 5 and 7, 5 and 8, and that could be enough.
That's the thing, Errol. He's not a starter for us. That's the thing, because
that's what he needs. He needs that little run of game. And I know it's hard, and it's like you're fighting for every single point. But if he got that under his belt and started to feel as though, you know, he had the backing in some sense. He's scary how much he can blow hot and cold, but as soon as he gets a little purple patch, he looks like every time a ball falls to him in the box.
He needs to hurry up, man. He needs to hurry up. He needs to hurry up, because we need goals. Because the problem is we're scoring goals, but we're conceding more. So that's that's the problem. But you never know. He might get a winner, and everyone will be happy days. And as well, ex-Tower 1, ex-Liverpool player. I know he didn't play much for Liverpool, but he might score again. So hopefully he does score. Right, people in the chat, what's your score predictions for Saturday's game? I'll get Errol's prediction now. Errol, what's your score prediction?
Oh, I'm gonna go. Do you know what? Keller has kept a clean sheet the last couple of games. I think this is the one where you go. I reckon it's a 3-1 Liverpool. I'll be honest.
If the big guns are back.
Yeah. I think we'll see at least 2 out of the 3 that I mentioned. The one, as I say, it's Szoboszlai, Salah, and the Núñez are the closest to come back. I think we'll definitely get 2 out of the 3 in the match day squad.
Too confident. Look how confident he is. He thinks 3-1 to Liverpool. I don't know.
God, he passed it at the minute, man. But we're just winning. We're winning when it matters. You get me?
Oh, dude. I don't know. The way Liverpool are going on, they're playing fantastic football. I've got my hands up and give their flowers to them. They are playing great football, and they are winning. I don't want to say. I'll give a draw. I'll say a draw. I'll take a draw. I'll take 1-1. 1-1. That's my head and my heart saying 4-1 Liverpool.
I'll take that, man. Like, go with the
I'll give my flowers to them. They're playing fantastic football with the young guns as well. And if Salah or Núñez come back, even McAllister, I think it. And you got Van Dijk at the back as well.
That's it. I think that's one of the most underappreciated traits that we've had this season is our defensive abilities and capabilities, because for a large period last season it was poor or below the level. Poor is probably a bit harsh. It was below the level. And this season, it was still question marks. Liverpool need a new centre back. Liverpool haven't got enough defensively. Van Dijk's not back to the level. Trent's not a right back. Robertson's, washed out here and all the rest of it. And they've all basically just put a big middle finger up to anybody that doubted them. And, we're up there with Arsenal as one of the best defensive records in the league. So that's the reason why we're in a title race, quote unquote, because for me, it's your defenses that give you the opportunity to win titles. So, massive credit to the levels that they've been able to show so far this season. But you've still got to have the firepower up top, and I think that's where Liverpool are ruthless with it.
I'm not gonna lie, because I remember at the City Ground last season, Salah played. Salah plays more on the right hand side. He played at number 9 this time last season, and it didn't work for him at all. And I think he's doing half chances at the City Ground. I'm just praying if he does start or if he does play, he plays number 9 because he won't do nothing. I'm praying he doesn't do nothing, because if he does, you give that guy anything, you'll score past us. Errol, it's been an absolutely pleasure for being on the channel.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for inviting me over. It's nice to make a little debut on a new channel for the end of the season. So thank you, man.
Shout out to Dan as well. Like he did follow me for Errol as well. So make sure you give some love to Dan on his channel as well. Like David's on his channel as well, helping out, talking about Forest as well, game on this week. So make sure you help out Dave as well. Make sure you subscribe to Redman TV as well. Errol is on there as well, so please show some love to that channel as well. People, I forgot to do sponsors. Shout out to my sponsors to Pour Out Plumbing Gas. If any Forest fan, football fan that want any plumbing gas and work, please do. He's a big Forest fan. The link is in the description. Please holler him if you can. I'll be there Saturday for the game. I'm hoping we'll win. Because I got any Liverpool fans text me out this moment in time.
I'm gonna be one of them. You got another one to that list now. There's another one on the list.
God, this is all I need. Listen to me. I see the texts now. This Errol looks good. Yeah, he usually looks good, Liverpool fans. But I hope I get the last laugh. But it's been a pleasure, people. If you are watching this, please hit the like button, subscribe and put your comments in the description as well. I'm praying Liverpool have an off day. I know they haven't had an off day for ages, but I'm begging, praying. We need a win. We need to get away from bottom 3. Can we win? Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you Saturday at the City Ground. Peace and love of the Forest.